UFC 299 is this weekend, and in the main event, we have Sean O'Malley, the UFC bantamweight champion, taking on Marlon Chito Vera. Now, this matchup is very interesting. This seems like this is a given for Sean O'Malley, and a lot of people are saying, why is Sean O'Malley fighting Marlon Vera? They don't need to do this. Which I agree. I do believe Sean O'Malley should be fighting someone a lot better, higher in their rankings, that deserve it more than Marlon Vera. But because Marlon Vera beat Sean O'Malley the first time, there's this weird feeling that, Marlon Vera has a chance against Sean O'Malley. And this is weird because if you go back and watch the very first fight between Sean O'Malley and Marlon Vera back in 2020, it was odd. Because Sean O'Malley was beating Marlon Vera. He was piecing him up. He was keeping very good distance, landing good leg kicks, landing the counter right, which was actually benefiting him a lot. And then Sean O'Malley tweaked his ankle, and moments after that, he got finished. And I do want to say, I believe the fight was finished way too early. So Sean O'Malley, if you go back and rewatch the fight between Sean O'Malley and Marlon Vera at UFC 252, Sean O'Malley throws an overhand right, and as he's throwing the overhand right, his ankle goes out, his foot goes out, and he falls. And Chito Vera literally just capitalizes on that moment and falls with Sean O'Malley, lands on top, and lands like 2 or 3 pretty big elbows, but not enough to finish the fight. And then Herb Dean calls the fight. And it was so weird because all the way up to that moment, Marlon Vera didn't really do anything significant. There was no positive outcome that was working his way. There was nothing there was no advantage point, right? And Sean O'Malley was piecing him up. His movement was good until his ankle went out or the foot injury went out. Sean O'Malley looked good. He was landing great leg kicks, keeping the distance well. He had a ton of volume. And I think this is exactly how the fight will play out, right? I think Sean O'Malley in that very first fight, before his foot got injured, was going to beat Marlon Vera. Of course, the injury happens. It's a fight. Anything can happen. Marlon Vera, credit to him. He did win the fight. He landed good elbows. But it did seem like they stopped the fight early, right, in the first fight. And it just seemed off. I think in this rematch fight, I think Sean O'Malley, not only does he have a better record, he has better stats than Chito Vera, but he's just an overall better fighter, right? Sean O'Malley, he lands a ton of strikes a minute. He's just this fireball. His counter striking is amazing. The way he knocked out Aljamain Sterling, letting Aljamain come in, go shoot for the takedown, pull back, counter right, and drop Aljamain Sterling. The close but durable fight he had against Peter Yan, where he tested Peter Yan's his chin. He was throwing the right hand with the knee up the middle. The grappling exchange where he even took down Peter Yan and went to his back. A very close fight. It could have went either way. I mean, Sean O'Malley has proven fight and fight that he's just getting better. And for Chito Vera, it kind of seems like he's a good fighter. He's definitely a slower pace fighter than Sean O'Malley. But when it comes to Chito versus Sean, and what does Chito have and what is he going to bring against Sean O'Malley, the only thing Chito really has is his power and maybe the grappling exchange in the clinch moments, right? Because Sean O'Malley's grappling isn't that bad. His ground game isn't that bad, but Sean O'Malley does lack some takedown defense in a way, and it really comes from the clinch moments when he's getting kneed or elbowed a lot, and then that's when his opponents usually take him down. But other than that, I think Sean O'Malley has it everywhere. He lands more significant strikes a minute. Sean O'Malley lands 7.25 significant strikes a minute, which is insanely high given he is a champion in the UFC, and he only absorbs 3.51 significant strikes a minute, which is insanely good. He's landing 4 more significant strikes than he is getting hit with. But Chito Vera, it's not like that. Chito Vera lands 4.37 significant strikes a minute and absorbs 5.16 significant strikes a minute. So he's getting hit more than he is landing. And that's kind of how Chito fights. Chito is a big counter fighter. He waits a lot. If you go back and watch the Corey Sandhagen fight, Corey was constantly moving. He obviously, added in the wrestling, which made it hard for Marlon Vera to really do anything, but he's a counter fighter. Marlon Vera waits a lot. He waits for the shots. He picks his shots, and then he either throws, a kick or, a flurry of punches to, add in that power to offset his opponent, but he doesn't really do anything, offensive. He's not a high-paced fighter. He's not a high-volume fighter. If you go back and watch the Dominic Cruz fight, he landed 30 less significant strikes than Dominic Cruz, but he had 3 knockdowns, and it was because of the spinning back kicks and the burst moments when he's just waiting, and then right when his opponent's circling out, that's when he goes. Same with the Rob Font fight. Rob Font landed 271 significant strikes against Marlon Vera, and Marlon Vera only landed 159, but it was because of the spinning back kicks and the burst moments where he's waiting for his opponent to just take that slight break, and then he goes, right? I think against Sean O'Malley, Chito Vera is not going to be able to do this. I think Sean O'Malley, he moves too much. He's really good at distance management. If you go back and watch the Aljamain Sterling fight, he's constantly moving, going from orthodox to southpaw, and he keeps his hands out in this like Muay Thai style where he's ready to grab your hands, push him down, and then throw a 1-2, or even keep him out and then hide that teep kick, So he's constantly moving. Sean O'Malley is really good about keeping the distance and the movement. If Chito Vera does not implement any wrestling into this fight, I don't really see a way for him to beat Sean O'Malley. I think Marlon Vera, he has really good power. He has very good counter striking, but I don't think it will be enough, or at least more significant than Sean O'Malley's output that he'll have. If you go to Sean O'Malley and you watch the Chris Moutinho fight, Chris Moutinho is a hard fighter. He didn't get knocked out. He was just eating a lot of shots. He couldn't get nothing going. Even if you go to the Thomas Almeida fight, the early Eddie Wineland fight, there was nothing that his opponents could really do. Sean O'Malley just puts out so much, and he's moving so much, you can't really just sit still and knock him out. I think Sean O'Malley, for him to get knocked out on the feet, would be extremely lucky. And obviously there's, a lot of skill in Chito Vera, but I think it would take a lot of luck to knock out Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, he moves a lot. He's always on his front foot, just constantly switching stances and throwing the 1-2 and the kicks. So I think for Chito Vera and his style, the way he just sits there and he absorbs all his strikes and then he puts out something, I don't think that will be really anything significant to Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, just his style of striking, where he's constantly moving, switching stances, throwing the 1-2 and the leg kick, the teep kicks especially. I think it's too much for Chito Vera. When Chito Vera fought Rob Font didn't throw any leg kicks. He was just throwing a lot of 1s and 2s. He's a high-paced boxer, so Chito could kind of pick him apart with the leg kicks. But when Chito Vera fought Corey Sandhagen, he had a very tough time to, keep Corey still and control the wrestling, because Corey's constantly moving. He's constantly switching stances. He's implementing the takedowns. And that's how you beat Chito Vera. You can't just sit in front of Marlon and exchange with him, because he'll land some good shots and he has power. But if you're constantly moving and you don't give Marlon Vera a second to rest, you'll beat him. And I think that's what you'll see with Sean O'Malley against Marlon Vera. I think Sean O'Malley dominates Marlon Vera. I think this is a clear, unanimous decision win. I think he 50-45s him every single round. I just think Sean O'Malley will move too much. He'll be too much. He'll put out too much for Marlon Vera to really do anything with that. I think you'll see a lot of leg kicks and body kicks to prevent the movement of Marlon Vera, so he can't really go anywhere. And I think the overall volume of Sean O'Malley will be too much for Marlon Vera. And unless Marlon Vera pulls something out or has a little bit of luck on his side, I don't see him beating Sean O'Malley. And that is my prediction. I think Sean O'Malley dominates Marlon Vera at UFC 299. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.